Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. First of all,
Happy New Year!
we are officially in 2024. 2023 is behind us. It was an extreme year of growth for me professionally and personally, but it was also painful. So I'm excited for a fresh new start. It's a new page, a new chapter. It sounds kind of corny and kind of cliche.
Me so corny!
But I'm excited. I have big plans for my channel this year. I have some deep dives in the works. I have lots of reactionary content. I have new editing assets. This is all very exciting. It was a fun year with my YouTube channel last year, so I'm excited for another fun year this year with YouTube, as well as another year of growth. But anyway, that's not why you're here. We are back on our Scentsy shit today. I was recently sent a leadership call, so thank you to the individual who sent this my way. I have been getting a lot more content and I appreciate it so much. If you have anything that you want to send to me to react to or to take a look at, my email is always in my description below, and if you send it my way, I will be happy to take a look at it and potentially include it in my content. I appreciate every piece of content that I do get. With that said, this is a leadership training call with 3 of the Scentsy top leaders. If you don't know, I do really love to cover Scentsy here on my channel. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. I get it. That's why I cover other things as well. But I was in Scentsy for about 4 years before I saw the light and got out of the MLM world. Also, apologies for my son who is playing in the background. You may hear him while we are recording this video. I also have a full deep dive on Scentsy that you can find also linked in the description below if you would like to kind of understand more about what type of MLM they are and how they run and all of those things. You can find that in the description. We're gonna get into this shit show of a leadership call. I have not watched the whole thing, but I am excited to hear what these individuals have to say. I do know of them from when I was in Scentsy, so this should definitely be interesting. But before we get into it, we gotta play the disclaimer.
I'm all in on me. Little baby, she agrees, she really been here through the fall. She the only thing I need. I wanna be free. I know that they want me for my ideas so they can line their pockets. Don't hit me to tell me.
Okay, now that is out of the way, if you are not new here, you know that we have one more piece of housekeeping. Also, if you are not new here, you know that you can go ahead and skip this part and you can find where the reaction starts here at the bottom of the screen, or in the description below, you can click on the timestamp. But if you are new here, please give this a listen at least once. I do not blur the names or the faces of the individuals that I am reacting to in my videos. These individuals are positioned as public figures, but this does not mean that I am encouraging anybody to go and seek these individuals out and send them hateful messages or mean comments. I am also not inciting hate toward these individuals in any way. That is never what my content is intended for. My content is meant to be educational, but most of all, entertaining. So let's all do our part and keep it that way. And with that, we're gonna get the fuck into it.
All right. All right, you guys, I am super pumped about tonight. I have 2 amazing leaders and friends in Scentsy for a really long time that are going to be joining us. Make sure you guys use the chat. Y'all can see Katie Farner. I call her KF, but it's Katie Farner is her name. And she has been in Scentsy a long time, along with her best friend, Caitlin, who is also joining us tonight. They are both superstar directors. I have been on multiple trips with them. They always win awards. They sponsor. They do all the things. And I say this because I am not going to bring anybody on a leadership call that is not doing the things that they are about to tell you guys tonight. So these are strong women. They've had ups. They've had downs. They've had hard things, good things, and in-between things. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get started. Who was first, Katie or Caitlin? Katie? Caitlin?
It was me.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be doing this with Chloe and Caitlin. And Chloe, it's just so funny because she's like, oh, it's such an honor that they're doing this with me. And I'm like, oh, we're both like, it's an honor that you even asked us. Because I just have mad respect for Chloe and the business that she's built, and it's amazing. So if you're on here and you're in my group, I know you know. And so we're all very excited to be here.
Here's a fun fact. When I was in Scentsy, I found her YouTube channel, the individual in the pink shirt and the blonde hair, and I binge watched everything to learn how to run my business. I'm ashamed of it, but I'm sharing it with you guys.
How
embarrassing.
And I also remember when I would go to Scentsy Family Reunion, there were certain people that you would see and it was like, oh my God, it was almost like a celebrity you were meeting. But for certain people that were at the rank, like she is at the highest rank. She's a superstar director in Scentsy. She has been for years. And I remember, this is going to sound so wild, but this is what these conventions are like. I remember she was almost untouchable. Like you couldn't get near her. You couldn't have a conversation with her. It's very cliquey, and she was always in her clique, and you felt almost intimidated to go up to her and have a conversation with her. It was awkward to do so, and many people would go up to her and just be like, can I get a picture with you? Like it was some kind of fucking celebrity. Very interesting dynamic at those Scentsy Family Reunions.
Diva alert.
And Caitlin is amazing, of course, as well, too, of course. But tonight, when we were sharing our notes and sharing what each of us wanted to talk about, there was one thing that was, it's just really cool when you get together with your friends and do a training, because so often, without even like really trying, you kind of all get on the same page. And I think that it's so much of it is because we know what works, right? Like we all really truly know what works. It's just a matter of if we're willing to put in that grit, if we're willing to develop that grit and put in the work consistently. So we're very excited for what we have to share with you guys tonight. And just to briefly tell you about me, my name is Katie Farner. As Chloe said, I joined Scentsy in May of 2010. So I am about to celebrate 13 years with Scentsy, which is unreal. I was a serial job hopper. Like if you mention the job, I've probably done it. I've done so many different things. I never felt settled in anything that I did. Nothing ever felt like the right fit for me until Scentsy Family Reunion. And then I was like, okay, this is actually like my real chance to like do something, like to have a career. And ever since then, I decided, you know what, I was going to go for it. And it completely changed my life. Just that one decision of deciding, oh, I'm going to go for this. It wasn't, nothing really changed. I was still the same me. I just had a deeper belief, not only in myself, but in this business and in Scentsy. So just making that decision and deciding I'm going to go for it 100% can change your whole life. And that's what happened for me. So yeah, that's it. I'm married, been married almost 14 years. And we have a 3.5-year-old son who is our absolute joy. And I'm so grateful that I get to be home with him every single day until he's going to start pre-K fairly soon. So I've just really enjoyed my time home with him. And I'm so blessed that I get to do that. And I get to help other moms who want to do that. It's okay if you don't want to do that, but if you do want to do that, I get to help you do that. So that's really cool.
Can we not prey on moms who want to stay at home with their children in MLMs? Like that is the last thing you should do, to stay at home with your children, because of the amount of work that you have to put in to even turn a profit within an MLM. You are not a business owner, so you're not getting full profit from anything. You are getting a cut of the sales you make because you are a contracted sales employee. In my opinion, this is not the route to go if you want to be a stay-at-home mom who's attentive to their children, because of the amount of work that you have to put in. When I was in Scentsy, I was not making a profit. I was spending a lot of money to do the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing, that the leaders were telling me to do. I was buying the scent of the month kit and doing all of those things, as well as working my job, because I wasn't turning a profit within the MLM. So I lost a lot of time with my son. I only had one son at the time. I lost a lot of time with him because of the amount of time I was spending within my MLM, whether it was Scentsy or it was LuLaRoe. Both of them took about the same amount of time from me because I was so desperate to be successful and climb my way to the top, which I never did, by the way. But I put in the work like I was doing something. I wasn't doing anything.
Colossal waste of time.
But I thought that if I kept pushing in and kept annoying people, essentially, I would get to the top. But that obviously never happened.
So anyway, as leaders in any network marketing, but in Scentsy specifically, right? That's what we do. That's what we love. That's our passion. As leaders, we wear a lot of different hats. And the most important hat that we have to be mindful of every day, every week, every month consistently is our personal business. A lot of times we put that on the back burner and we think, oh, I'm a leader now, I need to focus more on my team. And then our own sales or our own sponsoring start to slack. And we've all been through those phases and those seasons. Every single one of us on here, Chloe, myself, Caitlin, as a new leader, a young leader, trying to like figure that out and trying to figure out sort of that balance or that harmony. And it can be difficult. But we have to remember that our business has to come first, because you can't really be a leader if you're not walking it out yourself, if you're not doing it yourself.
Here's the thing though. If you are selling the idea that somebody is going to be their own business owner, they're going to join Scentsy and it's now their business. They have a business, which it's not. But even if that were the case, they wouldn't have a leader. They would be the leader. When you start a business, you are the leader. You are the one that says what goes, what doesn't go, aside from the law. Like obviously there's a law that you have to follow. There's things that you have to do. Aside from that, you are the leader. There is no one else telling you what to do. So displaying good leadership skills, quote unquote, to your business owners that are under you so they can be leaders, it just doesn't make sense. The math ain't mathin'.
So really true. I think that the key to embracing it, the key to that is really embracing evolution is what I'm trying to say. As we change, as our lives change, as an individual person, your business has to evolve and you need to embrace that. As the times change, your business needs to evolve and you need to embrace that. It's like evolve or die. I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. It's like evolve or your business will die. I can't work my business the same way today as I worked it the first year I joined Scentsy. The business looks completely different today than it did when I joined Scentsy. Facebook, social media, Instagram certainly was not a thing. Like in May of 2010, we were not working our business on social media. We were not training on social media. Like that was not even part of it. So if I was unwilling to evolve and embrace change, not just like, okay, I'll change and drag my feet, like embrace change, our business will suffer. Okay. So not only the business and the industry changes, but our personal lives as well. You know, you may move to a different area. You may, like me, have a child for the first time. Like your business has to evolve as you go through those things. A lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to put it down, right? Like I'm going to put it down during the season. You don't put it down. You evolve. You find a new way. You divert. You change. Change is an absolute necessity in this business. So I don't want you to think as you go through different seasons, like, and I don't want to sound like a tough bee, but I'm just going to be honest with you guys and say that like a lot of times we'll go through seasons and we'll be like, oh, it's a season. I'm just going to like put my business to the side. No, like I've had some of the toughest seasons of my life during my Scentsy business. Like I got super sick after I had my son, didn't really know what was wrong. After about a year of putting off going to the doctor, I found out I had an autoimmune disease and going through juggling all of that health stuff and all those doctor's appointments. And it was a nightmare. I was really sick. I didn't put my business down. I just evolved and I found a way to work my business that worked then.
But what happened to the time freedom that y'all promote so much when you talk about Scentsy? Time freedom this, you get a say in when you work, blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. That's false advertising in any business. I will not sit here and say, as a business owner, that it's easy. It doesn't take any time. You have time freedom. Like, to an extent you do, but it's a lot of work and you don't have the time freedom that you would think you have when you own a business, or especially when you're in an MLM, because you have to keep up with everybody else who's recruiting, who is selling more than you, who is earning the trip. You have to keep up with all of those people because you're not alone in this business, quote unquote. You are competing with other people who are also contracted sales employees as well as contracted recruiters for Scentsy. When you do actually own your own business, you're not having to compete to keep your rank or keep this thing. You're able to rely on whatever team you have or hire a team if need be, so that you can pay attention to your health and spend more time taking care of that, because that's what it's like being a business owner. You have to figure things out in a different way, not keep grinding and selling and recruiting. It's a whole different ball game when you actually own your own business. That was a rant that I had to go on for some reason.
Well, that got out of hand fast.
Let's get back into it.
And that's what we have to do as leaders. Have to. All right. So the way, like I said, the way we're selling and sponsoring looks very different than 13 years ago, even 5 years ago. So what I really want to encourage you to do as leaders and to teach your teams to do as well is monthly or at least quarterly reflect on your business. You know, Orville once said to do a SWOT analysis quarterly. And if you don't know what SWOT is, it stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So ask yourself, what are my strengths in my business? What's going well? Where am I doing well? What are my weaknesses? Identifying a weakness is not a sign of weakness. Identifying a weakness is a sign of strength. It's the people that are internally the most, struggling the most, that are unwilling to admit that they do have weaknesses. I have weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. All of our businesses have weakness. Every single person in Scentsy that you look up to and you think has this amazing, perfect business, they don't. They have weaknesses. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, so what are your opportunities? What are your untapped opportunities that you have? And what are your threats? What are the threats to your business? What are the current threats to your business that you need to be more on guard for, more on the lookout for? What are you struggling with? What are those threats? Okay, so quarterly, do that. Ask yourself, what's my SWOT analysis look like? Where are my opportunities for growth? Where do I need to improve? If you're not consistently looking at where do I need to improve, you're just kind of like trying to put a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, so we've got to be willing to identify what our opportunities are for growth and then pursue how to fix it. Like, that's one of the things I love so much about the Scentsy community is it's not like, well, figure out how you need to fix that issue in your business. Good luck. It's like, no, friend, there is endless free resources out there to tell you 50 different ways to work on that one thing, right? Like, okay, let's say sponsoring is your weak spot. Okay. Guess what? You got YouTube, hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube. You got the workstation, you got books, you got your upline. I mean, there's endless free opportunities for you to learn how to improve that weak spot. So the way I look at it is
free to an extent, because let's not forget, we had to pay for the community that we bought into, right? You didn't just fall into the Scentsy community without paying anything to join. You have to pay for the community. Let's get that straight.
If you're not willing to look at it, that's just a you problem. That's not a Scentsy business problem. That's not a problem with the Scentsy business opportunity. It's a you problem. It's a you problem. If you're not willing to identify what it is that needs to be fixed and then just eat up that free training. Like when I went to Scentsy Family Reunion.
So anything that goes wrong in your Scentsy quote unquote business is a you problem, not a Scentsy problem. That's not entirely true. Sometimes, yes, it's true. But the fact that you have to recruit to make a livable wage and have team under you making you money is a Scentsy problem, is an MLM problem. It is a problem overall, not a you problem. You didn't make this business a recruitment type business. Scentsy did.
I like to say a reluctant, for the first time, I was like a reluctant lead consultant. I had a team of 3 and they all just kind of came to me. I didn't want them. I tried talking them out of joining my team. Then I went to Scentsy Family Reunion and I was like, okay, this is my opportunity here. I'm going to do some things here. I might be a 1 semester of community college dropout, but I am going to make a doctor's salary. And guess what? I do. I do.
That's a big income claim, my friend, and most people in Scentsy or any MLM do not even make over $1,000. Let's pull up the income disclosure statement, shall we? Okay, so it says here, there's group 1 and group 2. Group 1 is consultants who were with Scentsy for all 12 months of 2022. The 2023 one isn't going to be out yet at the time that I'm filming this video. And then group 2 is consultants who joined within the 12 months of 2022. So in group 1, the median annual commission is $963.06.
This is basically volunteer work.
That doesn't sound very doctor salary to me. It doesn't even sound like a job position that you wouldn't need an education for. It doesn't sound like an entry-level job. It doesn't sound like what you would make at McDonald's. Not saying that McDonald's is not a good job to have. I think any job is a good job to have, unless it's an MLM, of course, or a pyramid scheme. But even people who didn't have to go to college to be a doctor are making way more than most people in Scentsy in 2022 for the entire year. The average annual commission, even in group 1, is $2,775.90 for the entire year of 2022. Again, that's not even a week salary for a doctor. So for you to sit here and say that you make the salary of a doctor is very much false advertising and leading people on to think that they can do the same thing. She joined in 2010, before COVID, before everything happened with social media, and that is why she is at the top making all of this money. She is the top 1% making all of this money. I'd also like to know how much of that doctor's salary is profit and not a loss.
The girl that couldn't even finish one semester of community college. Okay. But anyway, side note, I left Scentsy Family Reunion with that belief that I could, belief in this business opportunity. And I learned new skills on how to be a better recruiter. And guess what? The month following Scentsy Family Reunion, I recruited 7 people in 1 month. And prior to that, I didn't even want to build a team. So my point is, you got to soak up that free knowledge, be a success sponge, and figure it out. Okay. It's critical that we evolve and reflect. All right. So like taking myself, I've moved a lot from what my business used to look like before, which was heavy on vendor events and home parties. That was like my thing. That was my jam. That was how I grew my business. Then fast forward to me getting sick, COVID, first time mom, all this stuff. I had to figure out a new way to work my business. So I dove in heavy to focusing on driving traffic to my website for PWS orders, driving traffic to my website for Scentsy Club. Last month I had 22 Scentsy Club subscriptions last month. Every single month I have a minimum of 15, 17 Scentsy Club subscriptions. And I ain't done. My goal, I want 50. That's what I'm working towards right now. My next goal is I want 50 Scentsy Club subscriptions on average every single month. Why? Why the heck not? I mean, they get incentives for using Scentsy Club. They get discounts. They get half priced items. They always get my bar. You know, there's so many great perks to what I like to call our rewards program.
She also gets incentives for having people join Scentsy Club. So it's convenient that she's leaving that part out.
Our loyalty program. And so why not? I'm sorry, this might sound bad, but who doesn't love easy money? I mean, I do. There's nothing wrong with saying I love easy money, right? And I'm not stopping until I get to 50. And then when I get to 50, I'm not going to stop again. I'm just going to move that goal up. But I have been intentional for the last 4 years on how to drive traffic to my website and how to encourage people to join in Scentsy Club. And I'm just going to talk to you guys for a few minutes on how I've been doing that. And I want to add a little side note here. I am not saying that parties and events, which used to be my primary bread and butter, are not important, because they are. I know that I wouldn't be here today had I not done those things. But what I am saying to you is, one of the most beautiful things about the business that we're in is we choose this business for the freedom, but we can't think that we get the freedom right away.
You never get the freedom. There is no freedom in Scentsy. There really is no freedom. You have no marketing freedom. You have to use their marketing materials. Anything that goes outside of their marketing materials has to be okayed by their marketing team, which are paid employees and get a guaranteed paycheck, by the way. You don't have any freedom to create the scents you want, because there are people who also get a guaranteed paycheck who are their employees who work to develop the scents. You don't get the freedom of who works at Scentsy, because the CEO picks those people to hire and give a guaranteed paycheck. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do we have to go any further?
We have to earn the freedom, guys. You have to build the business first. That's why we call it the 2 to 5 year plan in Scentsy, right? Like, you gotta hustle. It's not going to be, I joined, okay. All right, where's the money? I mean, you got to earn those freedoms, right? 13 years in, I've earned the freedom to work my business the way I want to work it. And you can do the same thing, but you got to be willing to put in the hard work first. And yes, Melissa, Missy, I get it. We've all hit walls, multiple walls. And that's when we really got to sit down and decide what's not working. What do I need to tweak? And a lot of times I'm going to tell you, this is a side note, but a lot of times I'm going to tell you, it ends up boiling down to a networking issue. Most often it's a networking issue when we hit a wall. We've got to grow outside of where we currently are. That's what I typically find. So anyway, that is the most beautiful part about what we do is I love the freedom that we create when we earn the ability to work exactly and how and when and we want to work our business. So every single month, my PRV is a minimum of 2,000. And I would say probably 90 to 95% of that is from PWS exclusively.
PWS is the personal website. So she's just saying that people order off of her website. Also, when they sell $2,000 in 1 month, when they have 2,000 PRV, which is personal retail volume, they get 5% more commission. So instead of 25%, they will get 30% commission. That's why they always push. You'll always see Scentsy consultants in trainings pushing the
get the 2,000 PRV a month and you'll get 30% instead of 25.
It's from Scentsy Club and PWS orders. For the last 4 years, I have consistently been maintaining my VIP mail program. I do it every single month, never fail. I have not skipped a month in 4 years. No, I don't have an assistant. I do it myself.
Oh, did you want a trophy? I'll call my trophy guy.
And it has absolutely been probably the very best thing I've ever done for my PRV. And it's also been great for my sponsoring too, to be honest with you. So if you want to see a full video where I go into great detail about my VIP mail program, you can go to YouTube and search Katie Farner, VIP mail, and you'll find my video because I have a whole 45-minute training just on that. So I can't go into all of that tonight with you guys, but I will just show you so you can get an idea of what I do. This is a little bit different because we have a new catalog. So just know that going into what I'm going to show you. So my VIP mail month, and my VIP mail is done monthly, and it's done on a 3-month basis. So if a customer has ordered from me within the last 90 days, they will be getting VIP mail from me. After that 90 day is over, after that third month is over, they're booted out of my VIP mail program until they place their very next order. And I really found that 90-day cycle, those 3-month cycle really works very well for people wanting to replenish, typically, wax. That time frame works really well. And on their final month of their VIP mail, they get my rack card that states that this is their final month of their VIP mail. If they enjoy getting samples and all of that, they need to place their order this month to remain a VIP. And if they don't, they just get booted off my spreadsheet and then they get added back on after they place their next order. So that's kind of the rotation and how it works. The very first month, after they place their order, they get their gift. Their gift is just a scent circle. I'm sure you guys have seen this a bazillion times. I literally just write on their scent circle just like that to make it super easy. And that is their gift. That's it.
I don't know how I feel about that gift. Not that anybody needs to be getting a gift, but most of the time, nobody paid for those scent circles. I had so many of those scent circles. I would give them to everybody. My waitress, my hotel housekeeping, like everybody got a scent circle because I got them for free. And I thought I was doing such a great service to everybody by giving them a scent circle that lasts 5 minutes after being out of the package.
So the month following their order placed, they get this in a regular envelope with a thank you for shopping with me card, introducing them to my VIP mail program, and a sample of the scent and warmer of the month, the brochure with the sample. That's it. That's all they get. And it freaking works. And it's one stamp. It's simple. Exactly. And it's one stamp. And then the next 2 months, all they get is a sample of the scent and warmer of the month. That's it. And then they get my Scentsy Club postcard, encouraging them to join Scentsy Club, talking about the perks of Scentsy Club. So month 1, they get a thank you for shopping with me and their scent circle and their thing. And then month 2, they get, you should join Scentsy Club and the scent and warmer of the month. Month 3, they get, oh no, it's your final month as a VIP.
Let's also keep in mind that all of these postcards that she has are an expense. There are so many business expenses when you run your Scentsy business the way that she teaches you to do it. I know because I tried to keep up with it and I couldn't do it because I wasn't making enough money in Scentsy to keep up with it. There's a lot of expenses that go into her being at the top that she doesn't really disclose other than just showing it, not saying I paid such and such for this at Vistaprint or wherever she buys them.
They're sent one of the month flyer. So it's very simple. A stamp. Scentsy Club is a different story. Scentsy Club, every single month, they have the month following their shipment. So if they do a quarterly shipment, they get a Scentsy Club goodie package once a quarter. If they do a shipment every month, they get, a monthly. Every single month, I pick kind of like a new theme, and they get sometimes like chapsticks or, just cute little trinkets, like just little things I find on Amazon or whatever that kind of work with my theme. Nothing crazy expensive. Always something that will fit in an envelope like this. Okay. So like I said, this month is a little bit different because we have a new catalog. So every single VIP gets a catalog. So it's not normal. It's more expensive. Yes. This is a regular Scentsy Club. This is a regular Scentsy VIP right here. Rub and smell stickers. I think Chloe made this actually. I stole it from you. Yep.
They also have to purchase all of those rub and smell stickers from the back office. They have to purchase the bags and envelopes and stamps and brochures. All of those have to be purchased. So these are a lot of expenses, like I said, especially for somebody just starting out in Scentsy who isn't even making money, who has already lost money by buying into the MLM. They're probably likely not in a position to be putting that much money back into the business, quote unquote, that they just started.
So this is a regular customer right here. All right, they get the catalog, the rub and smell sheet. This is Scentsy Club. So Scentsy Club basically got the exact same thing, except I made them one of these. Hand poured these for them. My 6-pack, my favorite new 6 fragrances.
How special.
So that little heart clamshell, if you like that, you can get that on Amazon. So anyway, again, if you want to see the full process of everything I do in a typical month, you will find that training on YouTube. But that has been huge for my PRV. You could definitely do a product sheet to keep the costs down. I just love giving them a catalog, and they've been used to this, for the last 4 years. They're used to getting a catalog every 6 months. So it does cost me like $3 a package for the regular customers. So it is not cheap to do the full catalog. So
let's say every customer that gets her Scentsy Club is a VIP. Her goal is to have 50 people on the Scentsy Club. So right there, just that alone is $150 a month to send them that extra VIP thing. $150. And that's just the VIP packages, not her other mail club or whatever it is, or the other thing that she was showing. That is just one aspect of how much she is spending every month. Every month. That's a large expense to put on somebody who is just starting out. That shit adds up real quick, and you're gonna be in the hole further than you were before you joined the MLM, because a lot of people who are joining MLMs are vulnerable. I was one of them. I was not in a good space financially. I also wanted to socialize more. I just moved to a new state. I wanted to get out and meet new people. I saw this as a way to do both of those things. I didn't do any of those things. I pushed people further away because I was the crazy Scentsy lady, and I put myself further in the hole because I was putting stuff on credit cards and buying all this stuff because these leaders that we are watching, that I literally watched on YouTube to learn from, were telling me to do this stuff, and I was not in a place to do it.
What I would encourage you to do is do what's in your budget, but do something like this. I mean, you can do a product sheet, a rub and smell sticker sheet in one stamp envelope. That will absolutely be enough. But my customers are used to this, so I just do it. It's a good tax write-off. So, but yeah, so that.
Oh my God, with the tax write-off, not everything is tax write-offable. And also, I pointed this out in other videos, but I want to say it again. If you are running a quote-unquote business and you use everything as a tax write-off to get a refund, you are then, after 2 years, a hobbyist. You're not a business owner. The IRS will no longer look at you as a business owner. They will tell you, no, you have a hobby, you don't have a business.
That is, like I said, it's not a normal month with the new catalog, but normally most of them are just getting a regular envelope with a stamp. But yeah, that's been huge for me. huge, huge, huge for me. And it's really carried me through some difficult seasons in my business where I was still able to maintain. And that's what we got to do. We got to evolve throughout the seasons and make sure that our sponsoring and our selling are things that we are consistently focusing on. And one thing I want to add to before Caitlin starts is, don't forget that as a leader, you can't overcomplicate the trainings. Like this stuff that I just showed you, this is stuff that I just do to work my business, right? But that's a teachable moment. So like when I'm doing these things, I share it with my team. Like, oh, here's how I'm working today. What are you doing? Don't overcomplicate it. Share how you're working. So anyway, I'm going to pass things over to Caitlin now. I hope that you got some nuggets from me that will help you. And I know Caitlin's got some great things to share with you as well.
Good job, Katie. Killed it as always, my sister. Good job. Okay, hi guys. My name is Caitlin Beria. I am Superstar Director of Beria's Fantastic Beasts. And I am so excited to talk to you guys tonight. So if you see me looking over here, if you know me, when I train, I have to type out my entire training or I will literally squirrel. So I have like 3,000 words over here that I will be reading to you. It's just, you'll get a better training, I promise, if I read it to you than just spiel to you, okay? So, hi. When I was thinking about this topic that we came up with, my mind did not just go to what we are seeing company-wide. So when we started talking about, things being hard right now, my mind immediately went to the dip that we are going through together right now as a company.
They're talking about this a lot right now. From what I've seen, the dip is what is happening after COVID. People were joining because they were home and they weren't making money and they were shopping or they were freaking out and they needed a way to make money. So they were joining an MLM. And now everybody realizes what the fucking MLM actually is.
Wait, is this a damn pyramid scheme?
They're losing money and they're all leaving. Nobody wants to join because more and more people are learning about what MLMs are before they get into it. So they're in a dip of people not joining the MLM. And that is what they are referring to when they're talking about the dip. It's something to be concerned about when you're thinking about joining an MLM. And it's something to consider. Why are people leaving? Why are people not joining? Do your research before you join an MLM. Please, for the love of God, there's a reason there's a dip right now.
And I'll talk a little bit about that dip and the tough times that we're seeing right now and how to stay consistent through those hard times. But I also thought about the hard times that we all experience in life. We do not need a pandemic to come in and shake everything up to make life hard. Life is already really, really hard. And that hard part of life is going to trickle into absolutely everything in your life, especially your business. So I've been with Scentsy for 12 years this year. Oh my God, I feel so old. But over those last 12 years, I have had a lot of shit happen to me. I've lost a lot of people. My husband was injured and medically disabled from the Marine Corps. I learned to become his caregiver. I've moved around the United States 6 times. But the thing that has affected me the most recently was when my aunt, who was also my sponsor and my star director with Scentsy, passed away in the summer of 2019. And I didn't even get to say goodbye. So when I think of hard times in business, that is what my mind goes to. Grief, loss, life changes, moves, sickness, so many unexpected things that happen to us that shake up our entire worlds. So many hard times in my life that I could have just laid my Scentsy kit down and never picked it back up, right? So many times. And that's the question. How do we continue to move through these times? And Chloe has a tattoo that I love so much. She has "move" on her arm, and I love it because how do we move through these times when we may not even want to get out of bed or face the day, let alone work our businesses?
All right, hear me out. I'm not lessening what she went through. I'm not discrediting that she had a hard time. Those are hard things to go through. But just hear me out for 1 second. Every fucking buddy goes through hard things like that. And for somebody to believe that they're the only one that went through it and Scentsy helped them through it and that's the only reason they made it through it is total bullshit. Yes, those are hard times. I have empathy for that. That is very sad. I'm sorry for her loss. I'm sorry for what she had to deal with her husband. Those are hard things. But to sit there on a leadership call and insinuate that the reason you made it through is because of Scentsy and because of the Scentsy community, which I'm pretty sure she's going to go ahead and insinuate that right now, is absolute horseshit. I've gone through hard times too, in an MLM and outside of an MLM. Guess who was there for me? Not the MLM community. My actual family, my friends, my people were there for me. My job also, when I went through hard times and I was working a traditional job, I had bereavement pay. I was able to leave for funerals. I was able to take time off for my grieving processes. Whatever it was, those were more supportive than an MLM would be. And I just hate seeing people in a vulnerable spot being taken advantage of. That is what this is coming off as. Like, people on this call may be going through hard times and maybe want to give up the MLM because it's just too much. Give it up. Give it up. In the long run, you'll be happy you did. It's not going to help you to keep clawing your way at the MLM while you're going through those things. And I just, don't prey on vulnerable people, please. Thanks. Bye.
And it comes down to one simple thing: choices. You have the power to choose. And the most recent example that I can give of this is last week was my aunt's heavenly birthday. I woke up and I did not want to do a damn thing. And I could have laid there in bed miserable and crying and grieving all day. And trust me, that's what I wanted to do.
And there's nothing wrong with that, actually. That is a grief process. That is your personal grief process. I said this in my video about Amare. If your grief process is laying in bed and crying and watching TV or doing whatever you have to do for a certain amount of time, as long as you're not, in a place where we might need to seek other assistance, that is your grieving process. For me personally, and I know this about myself, I try to be self-aware, but I know this about myself. When I'm in a grieving process, I go through waves of like, I just want to lay in bed and watch a movie and zone out and watch YouTube. And then I'll be like, okay, I need to get up. I need to go walk around Target. I need to get my mind off of things. Like, people have different grieving processes, and to insinuate shame for wanting to stay in bed and cry is horseshit again. If you want to stay in bed and cry, do that. If that is going to help you move through the grieving process, that is what you need to do. You don't need to get up and work your fucking Scentsy business.
But I made the choice. I had a come to Jesus moment with myself. I 5, 4, 3, 2, 1'd it, and I launched myself out of bed, and I didn't stop there. I laced up my sneakers, I threw on some screamo, emo music, and I sprinted 3 miles outside so that I could get some sunshine and serotonin. And then I went to a Scentsy party that evening and I worked. I specifically scheduled that party for that day that I knew that I was going to be the most sad. And we all have this choice. We all have this choice that we have to make every single day. We are the only ones that have the power to make Scentsy a priority in our everyday lives, or the power to make excuses. And that is the biggest secret to success, making the choice and choosing every single day not to give up, no matter how hard it gets, and just showing up.
Somebody once told me that if you have multiple priorities, then you don't have any priorities. You need to have one priority at a time. So you're telling me that Scentsy is your number one priority. Your kids, your husband, your family, your house, your finances, none of those matter because Scentsy is priority. Yikes. They don't hear themselves. When they get out, they will, because that's what happened to me. And I was like, what the was I saying?
This quote a friend tagged me in recently has really stuck with me. And it said, your excuses are probably valid, but are they worth what you're sacrificing to keep them? Look, I honestly don't even like the word excuses, because when I apply them to all the things that I just told you about, it seems so belittling, right? Because we all go through some hard and heavy stuff. So please do not take this as me belittling what you're going through or what you've gone through. But at the end of the day, we all have the power to choose.
Please don't take this belittling, but I'm going to anyway, basically. No, sometimes you don't have the power to choose. Sometimes you have to sit in it. Sometimes you have to take care of your kids instead of working your Scentsy business. Sometimes excuses are not excuses. They're actual things that you have to prioritize over your Scentsy job because you are a contracted sales employee that doesn't get any kind of benefits and probably not even a livable wage. I'm definitely not going to prioritize that over anything else in my life.
The power of choice is something that I've been talking heavily with my leaders about recently. So I joined in 2011, right when Scentsy was experiencing one of their very first dips. But I was new to the company. I was excited. That excitement was contagious. The dip didn't affect me, and it didn't affect Katie, and it didn't affect Chloe. It didn't affect us then. And it may not be affecting you personally right now. But if you feel hopeless in your business right now, like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, I'm speaking directly to you. The reality is, during a dip, we are going to see a lot of people quit, and it's already started. And it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But what we need to realize is dips are completely normal in a healthy business. The reason that this one feels so massive and unhealthy to us is because of the massive hypergrowth that we experienced in 2020. And hypergrowth is not normal. You are not alone. And during these times, we're faced with another choice. You have a choice to make right now. Are you going to dig your heels in the dirt? Are you going to buckle down? Are you going to choose to rebuild? Or are you going to give up?
It sounds like there might be a lot of people giving up, and that's why they're even holding this leadership call to begin with. Is that the case?
I can tell you right now that the grass is not greener on the other side.
Yeah, it is. Come on over to the anti-MLM side. It's so green over here. Let me tell you, it's so much better not being in an MLM. I know it's been years since y'all have not been in an MLM, these leaders specifically, but let me tell you, the grass is green, baby.
Nothing gets better when you start over. I mean, that doesn't sound fun. I'm sorry. Many people that chose to leave the company back in 2011 ended up coming back to Scentsy at some point. How awful does that sound? Leaving, thinking that something out there is better, losing everything that you've done up to that point, and then trying to come back and trying to rebuild it. I know looking at your numbers right now might seem like you're starting over or that you're going backwards. And I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay and you're not alone. I'm saying all of this to say it's okay to have your feelings. It's okay to be sad. You can't stay there though. Feel your feelings, cry them out, move on. Surround yourself with good Scentsy friends that can pull you out of the ashes when life gets hard. Don't surround yourself with misery because misery loves company, right? There have been plenty of times in the last couple months where I've reached out to my friends and I've said, guys, my numbers are absolute garbage right now. Am I the only one? Am I alone? And because I surrounded myself with the good ones, instead of letting me sit in my shit, they let me know that I'm not alone. And they sit with me in the trenches. But as we're sitting there in the trenches, we're finding a way to dig ourselves out. We don't sit there in our sorrow and wallow. We start problem solving. So I challenge you to take a very hard look at your circle. Evaluate who you are spending your most time with. Your friends should be doing better than you. Your friends should be problem solvers. Your friends should be a shoulder to cry on, but also lend a hand to you to pull you up when you're down. And I wouldn't still be here in Scentsy if I hadn't surrounded myself with the right ones, like these girls here. Reevaluate your circle.
That's a lot of pressure to put on your friends. While yes, I believe friend should be there through thick and thin, especially real ones and ones that you don't have to pay for. But it's a lot of pressure to put on your quote unquote friends to solve all of your problems. That is not their responsibility ever. They may be there to help you and, like she said, lend a helping hand, but it's on you to solve your own problems. You have to figure out your own fucking problems. We come into this world alone and we leave alone. You have to find a way to solve your own problems, and to put it on your friends or other people is not right, in my opinion.
At the same time that I say you should have an amazing circle, I don't mean surround yourself with others doing better than you and then beat yourself up over and over and over again over the things that they're doing better than you. Put your blinders on and stop comparing yourself to others. The only person that you should be comparing yourself to is your past self.
Do you realize you just contradicted yourself?
But you just said your friends should be doing better than you. So if you think that your friends are doing better than you, then you're already comparing yourself to your friends who are doing better than you.
Do not forget to look back on your business always, like Katie said, and remember how far you have come. When comparing your year-over-year numbers, please trust me on this and do not compare your 2023 to your 2020 or your 2021 or your 2022. Look back at 2019. Forget all those years. I know it's hard. Look back, and small growth is still growth, babies. Remember to do this often and only ever compare with yourself. Stop trying to do a million different things that you see all other leaders doing on social media. I am the laziest leader that there ever was, and I'm still kicking ass, okay? I'm proof that you don't have to do all the things to be a badass. Doing all the things is a one-way path to burnout. You cannot know it all, be it all, or do it all. So please stop trying. The most important thing that you can do for you and your business is to mind your own business and focus on your business. And one of my favorite ways to look at this, I was at a retreat a couple years ago, and I might screw this up, but I'm gonna tell you the way that my brain remembers it. But it has changed my entire outlook on this topic. So when you close your eyes, and in your head, what does the perfect consultant look like to you? When you think of the epitome of what a perfect consultant should be, what do you see? Now, when I did this, it's so funny to me because I'm listing all these things off in my head. And then my friend said this to me, that the perfect consultant to me was a variation of a lot of people. For example, this is just an example. This girl in my head, she's great at VIP mail and online sales like Katie. This girl in my head, she's amazing at building leaders like Chloe. She's really great at social media like Rachel Pence. She takes really good photos like Jill McCarthy. She's really great at being relatable like Chelsea Otto. I could sit here and go on and name drop all of these people who are better at these things than I am. What I'm getting at is that there is no perfect consultant. A perfect consultant does not exist. In our heads, they are the combination of everything that we admire and who we want to be, but it's not achievable because it's all these different people that we are looking at and we can't stop looking at. Stop trying to be everybody else. Figure out what you are good at and do that really well, right? Okay.
Are we still talking about an MLM? Why is this so serious? It's not that serious. It's not that serious.
Your why, you're going to hear this all the time from your leaders. Your why is so important. It should be big enough to make you want to leap out of bed in the morning.
That's like the idea of perfection existing. It doesn't exist. And neither does a why that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning, especially if you're like me and you like to sleep. I love to do my YouTube channel and I love to play Fortnite with my son, but I'm not going to leap out of bed in the morning ever. Unless somebody woke me up and they were like, you just won $1 billion. Then I would leap out of bed.
But your why should also constantly be evolving. There's that word again, evolution, evolving. because you as a human, as well as this business that we are in, they're constantly evolving. Do not get stuck on your why to the point where you let yourself get stagnant. And this is a lesson that I learned the hard way for myself. So in March of 2020, I was literally 5 days away from leaving for the top 150 trip to the Netherlands. Packed, ready to go, and then the world went to crap. And let me tell you, if I wasn't already depressed, and I realize now that I was really depressed then. You see, when I joined Scentsy, I didn't join to sell, I was a kidnapper. Isn't that a big surprise? I was a freaking kidnapper. I wasn't going to do anything.
Excuse me. What did you just say?
Not a kidnapper. She said kidnapper. If you're new, we have discussed this in past videos. They refer to people who just buy the Scentsy Join Kit to just get the products because it's a discounted price to get all the products as kidnappers. So she's saying that when she joined Scentsy, she was just wanting the kit. She didn't want to sell it. She didn't want anybody to join under her. She was just buying the products.
Joined to steal the testers and the warmer and get the hell out of Dodge, but God had bigger plans for me. Scentsy quickly became my happy place and my one and only full-time job, and has been still to this day. So I earned my first incentive trip to Costa Rica, and I realized, woo, there it is. There's that why that everybody's always talking about, that I'm like, what does that even mean? I want to travel the world. I want to see all the things, and I did, until COVID took that away. And then I realized I didn't have a clear purpose anymore. In Scentsy, I lost my way. Don't put all of your eggs into Scentsy's basket. And what I mean is, do not rely so heavily on Scentsy's goals they give us to be your only definition of success. Let Scentsy be your vehicle to success, because Scentsy is not always going to be there with that next big goal for you to achieve. It should never really be about the title or the next big incentive trip or the next big incentive, because let me tell you, if your goal is to achieve superstar director, once you get to the top, baby, then it's like, well, now what do I do? Where the heck do I go from here? What do I even do now? What's my job? What's my next goal? What am I trying to achieve now? I'm at the top. That's what I wanted. Do not root your goals so heavily in just the ones that you can achieve with Scentsy. Dream bigger. Because yeah, traveling for free is fun, right? You know, it's the best way to travel, but I could have been working harder and setting my goals even higher than just earning those free trips by making more money to pay for my travel. My why wasn't big enough. My why was rooted too heavily in just Scentsy. And I hope that makes sense. Here's another huge lesson that I've had to learn to accept. You are going to lose your passion. You are going to want to quit. You cannot always be passionate about something. It's not reality. It's just like a marriage, right? I'm sorry. You don't always want to make out with your husband. Sometimes you're angry at him for leaving all his clothes on the floor. Okay, I joke, but really, marriage is really hard. And how do you fix it when it gets bad? You go back to the basics. You date again. You infuse the fun back in your relationship. You talk more. So how do you keep your business going when it feels bleh? You do the same thing. You don't get so wrapped up in the work that you forget to have fun. You integrate the favorite parts of yourself and the favorite parts of your personality back into your business. You make your business work for you, not the other way around. I saw a perfect example of this today, actually, and see if I can pull it up real quick so you guys can see it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on my phone or not. But
except it's not your business, so nothing's working for you. You're working for it.
My upline SSD, Shelly Eldridge, I love her so much. She's so precious. She posted today, and I was like, I'm throwing that into my training because that's so damn cute. So she's super successful at like growing plants and stuff. I don't know anything about that. I got a brown thumb, but people, I guess, are always asking her like about plants and stuff. So she made this really cute graphic, and it says the Scented Plant Club night, where she's going to have people pay in advance to come to this Scented Plant Club night. She's going to help them pot their own plants. It says, learn how to properly care for your houseplants. Fun night with friends, food and drinks. Leave with your very own plant food instruction sheet, and pre-selected Scentsy mini fan and pods.
I have a whole video coming up on how I found this out, but like you can't advertise a different business intertwined with Scentsy if you're benefiting off of both of it. So I'm like 98% positive that that is out of compliance and she can get terminated for that.
Dude, how freaking cute is that? Right? Like, I feel like we've forgotten how to have fun.
Speak for yourself.
I'm a huge nerd, so I love incorporating all of that into my business wherever I can. Years ago, I had a super epic Harry Potter open house, and my customers still talk about that to this day. To this day, it was like when I first started my Scentsy business like 10 years ago, and they still talk about that party. I got back into reading during the pandemic, so I started a book club with my team and my customer VIP group. And we don't read any self-help business books. We read the fun stuff to help us escape all the toughness and the crap of the world. Does this help my sales or my group wholesale volume? No, but it helps my mental health. It keeps Scentsy fun, and it helps me grow relationships with my customers and my team. Join groups for your interests. You guys were just saying that you're having trouble with networking. It's all about going out and making friends. We're all so damn lonely. I mean, I'm not the only one. I'm so lonely. I found a local book club lately. I'm going to start going and attending to meet new contacts. And it doesn't have to be about business. It's about making friends. And if it leads into Scentsy, then you know what? That's the cherry on top. I joined a local veteran caregivers group when we were living in Houston, and it not only helped me with friends, but helped me get out of the house. And a lot of those friends became business friends. Passion does not go away forever. Your fire just kind of dims, and you need to figure out the way to reignite it. Go back to the basics. Start networking and meeting people again. Relaunch your business like you're a brand new baby consultant. You remember that excitement that you had? Find it again. Try to book some parties or open houses and just remember how much fun you used to have doing those. And I promise you that little fire inside of you is going to ignite again, and it's not going to be so hard anymore. And last, but certainly not least, I've quoted Mel Robbins a couple of times tonight. If you don't know who she is, definitely look her up. But remember that simply, no one is coming. No one is coming to save you.
She's contradicting herself over and over because she just basically said that it's your friend's responsibility to help you come up with solutions. But now it's you have to come up with your own solutions because nobody's going to show up for you at all, which is actually the truth. Like that part is true. The other part is not. Like you are responsible for you and your life. Nobody else is. You get what I'm putting down? Am I losing my mind? Am I delusional?
It is no one else's responsibility besides your own to put your own dreams into action. You need to stop saying, oh, I'll be successful when I have a better upline or, some more support or something. Or, oh man, I can't be successful at my business because my friends and family, they don't support me. Now, remember how I said I hate the word excuses? Those really are excuses, and there's some pretty shitty ones. I had my aunt as my upline. She was great. But I still call myself self-made and self-taught. And if she were here today, she would say the same thing. You have so many more tools available to you today than we did 12 years ago. Is it great to have a bomb upline? Sure, I would love to have Katie or Chloe as my upline. But that same training that they're giving to their teams, it's on YouTube. It's on the training center of your workstation. And so are all of the other trainings from those other people that you keep wishing were your upline. We all have the same tools for success. The problem is you're standing in your own way. Your friends and family are not responsible for your success in this business. You and you alone have to decide that you are sick of the way things are going. You're sick of doing the same old thing and getting the same old result, and that you are the only one to save yourself. I say this to myself all the time when I don't feel like working, when I don't feel like working out or improving myself. No one is coming. No one is coming. It's all up to you. In conclusion, my friends, I hope some of the lessons I've learned over the years and that I have weaved into this talk tonight will help you find that consistency in tough times. I hope that you at least come away from this training realizing that we all have different ways of leading our teams, of running our businesses. But at the end of the day, you're not alone in any of it. We all struggle the same. And if we can stick around for 12 plus years through all the crap and the beauty, you can too. And I can promise you it is so damn worth it. And I am going to turn it over to the amazing Chloe Cox.
I don't even know how to follow up with you and KF. That was so good, you guys. And I literally am so embarrassed to say us three have never done a training together. And I really don't know why. This is real dumb. Because it's like every piece that each of them said, I'm like tying it together and I didn't even mean to do it. So I'm really excited to close this out, and I won't be long because I know you guys are tired. And I'm going to talk about really diving into what embracing evolution in your business, what that looks like, and a little bit of what I've experienced the past 10 and a half years as a power hitter recruiter, as a power hitter leader, experiencing massive amount of burnout, experiencing massive amount of pain in my business, massive amount of trying to figure out how to do things, right? That none of us were taught how to do this, by the way. None of us have a degree in how to do any of this with the business. We learn through trial and error. And you can do one or two things when you face trial and error. You can either give up and run from it, or you can embrace it and you can grow stronger and you can develop new ways and new tools and realize that you're human and that's okay. But this business really, especially in leadership, can be very difficult. So I'm a definition person. So I have two definitions for you guys. So the definition of evolve is to develop, or one of them is to develop gradually, especially from a simple to a more complex form. This is perfect for you guys as leaders and for us to understand.
Why do we need definitions? What are we in vocab class? Is this second grade?
We want to do something like KF was saying. She does her VIP mail, right? It's simple. The way she does it, she has a system. It's structured, but it's complex. And she is getting really good results from it, right? So to me, when I look at evolving, we're not just staying the same. We're changing, we're maturing, we're growing, we're getting wiser, we're getting stronger, we're learning from the faults and from the things that we thought may have been a good way to do it, but either we burned out or we got lazy, and we're reigniting the fire, the fun, the passion, the discipline. Jennifer Anderson, if y'all have never listened to a training from her, there's nobody better on discipline. That girl is cuts.
She's referring to the one that said, if you're broke, it's your fault. I've covered her a few times on my channel as well.
Discipline with a knife. So if that is you, discipline I can't teach you that because I just do it, but she's a great teacher in that area. So if you are struggling and evolving, I want to ask how disciplined you are in your business, not just consistent. You can be a consistent in a lot of stuff that don't reflect in your paycheck, by the way. So that's not the same thing as being disciplined. So evolution, I just think of us as leaders as gradually, right? We're on a journey, just learning how to go from simple to that new form, like evolving, right? Like a butterfly. And then embrace. So one of the definitions of embrace is an act of accepting or supporting something willingly or enthusiastically. So out of joy. So I love what Caitlin was saying about, igniting the fun, getting in the book club. I don't even read books. And I would look at her post and be like, oh, that looks fun. Like, what is going on? Like, what is this book? Because those are the pieces of Caitlin that I love, is that, and the Harry Potter and the nerdy, graphic tees and stuff. That's what pulled Caitlin, to me, liking her in the first place. So I want you guys to think about. And then with KF, very fashionable. So aside from Scentsy, with you guys, how are you embracing change, enthusiastically? Where's your joy at? So for me, I was trying to evolve and trying to get through 2020. I went through a lot of the stuff that Caitlin was saying. I was super, super bummed whenever we couldn't go to the Netherlands. And then it happened again, and I thought we could go, and earned it again and couldn't go. Got super depressed, just kind of got stuck. We had hyper growth. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really know where we were going to go from here, because
They had to earn it twice. What?
Sounds horrific.
Why not just earn it once and then reschedule it for after, like now that everything's done? Why not give that to the consultants who are with Scentsy still that earned that trip? What the They had to earn it again and then couldn't go again. Wow.
because I was much like Katie. I did a lot of home parties and I did a lot of face-to-face bag parties. So you go from doing that and being around people to now it's just like, got to figure it out. And I love social media. I'm not going to lie, but I don't follow a lot of people on social media that are consultants, because I do find myself, if I'm looking at what someone's doing, it derails me and it makes me start questioning what I'm doing. So if that is you, like, I know that, the other girls were talking about this, like, if you're seeing that you're derailed or you're comparing yourself, like, it's okay to unfollow them. It's fine. Like, nobody's going to care. And if they do care, they can think whatever about you. They don't pay your bills and this is your business. And so when it comes to me evolving and me embracing, 2020 and 2021 and 2022 were not fun years for me. The fall of last year, I got really burnt out. I stopped doing coaching calls. So I did coaching calls like the past 8 years of my business. And last year I was like, this is not sustainable. Like, everybody's attaching to me and then people are going, like, I'm building too much connection with my downline. That was my problem. Too much attachment, too much when it wasn't like reciprocated, nor was it somebody I would hang out with outside of Scentsy. So you also have to be careful when you are leading with how much you're letting people in. Because although I'm pretty introverted naturally, but when it comes to leadership, I am very much so, let me help you, let me love you, let me fix you. And that's just not the way you can't be that way in leadership. So I stopped coaching calls and I paused last fall. So that's the first thing I did, that I didn't do previously. I was trying to evolve right in 2020 and 2021, but I wasn't pausing to like, look at like, where am I? So I completely paused. I got into a massive amount of therapy, because you coach these women for 8 years and you don't even know who you are anymore. To be completely honest, you start listening to who they say you are and you're like, that's not me. Like, I know I'm not that. So
probably because you don't have a degree in coaching people. You don't have a degree in leadership. You never got trained in leadership. You don't know how to handle it. So interesting how that works, isn't it?
Got into a lot of therapy and I started involving myself in a different way in mentoring young women at my church that were like 14 to 18. I serve in youth. So I started finding joy in where God was using me, but in a different way. And so then I got involved in a gym. So I started getting out, like Caitlin was saying, with the book club, talking to people. I started like going to this gym that I go to now where I could talk to people and meet people. And so I started feeling that joy. I made a completely new team page and a completely new leadership page. I went to a leadership retreat and Caitlin was there. And I just wanted to sit back and shut up. I did not talk a lot. I don't even know if Caitlin realized that, but I didn't talk a lot. I didn't share how I was leading because I didn't want to hear me. I wanted to hear what these other consultants were doing. And I wanted to see like, what could I take from it? And so I listened to Jen and she had this page and I was like, you know what, dude, I want a fresh start. Like, I have so many old consultants on my page. So I took all of February, because this past fall, I had dove into real self-care for me, really looking at, where am I pouring my energy into? Is my husband and my kids getting the best of me or the worst of me? Where am I at? And so because I had done that work before, last month I was ready to roll with making a new team page, a leadership page. I made a website. And again, I'm not saying do that or you have to do that. But for me, I needed something different. And I wanted to just create a space of like, just where they could come and bring these leaders and these team members and just have everything there. I was like, this is so me. And so because I had paused, I knew what direction I wanted to go because I was ready to receive in January at that leadership retreat. So you have to pause so you can look at yourself. Don't look at your business first, look at yourself. not in a negative way, but in it, is this really, where am I at? Like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I so down on myself? Why do I feel like I can't do this? Like I didn't get here just to get here, right? And so looking at yourself and pausing and then seeing what areas do you really want to do the hard work in to evolve. Evolution is not the easy steps. Evolution isn't just, I'm going to book one party and that's evolution. No, it's literally like, what is the bigger picture here? What do you want your life to look like, right? I don't look at Scentsy recognition to validate me. Okay. And I feel like that Caitlin and KF are the same way. We look at our families, our lives, our joy, our peace, what we want our future to look like, what generationally we want it to look like. We look at our stress level and we look at like, okay, yeah, I'm stressed out maybe today in Scentsy in my business, but I could be out there working a 9 to 5 or doing this and that, and we ain't going back to that. So the
bigger picture is the fact that people who are working the dreaded 9 to 5, the evil traditional job, the main difference is when they leave, they don't have to think about their job. They don't have to do shit for their job. They don't have to answer to anybody when they go home. When you guys leave, you never leave. You never leave. You dream about Scentsy. All you do is Scentsy or whatever MLM you're in. That's all you do. That's all you think about. That is all you talk about with the people that you're talking to. It's so intertwined in your personal life and your professional life that you never get away from it. And that is unhealthy.
It's exhausting.
People who work a traditional job or own a business and close their laptop or leave their desk for the day, they don't have to think about it again. They don't have to talk about it again. They don't have to seek people out when they are not on the clock to join their team if they are a professional recruiter, like recruiters at hospitals who are looking for doctors. They don't have to think about it when they leave. They don't have to look at every relationship as a business opportunity. That is a better deal than what these people have to do in an MLM to make a wage or to even break even.
Look at the bigger picture. So I also started leadership calls again monthly though, because I cut out coaching calls. I still wanted that connection with my leaders. You guys as leaders need to understand that your team is your future leaders. They are looking at you. So all of you guys that have been on tonight, we are so proud of you for being on. We are so proud of you for showing up because your team is going to see this or they're going to hear about it and they're going to want to be involved in your leadership community. They're going to want to be involved in doing what you do. So I did keep those consecutive. I started helping myself because I was very, 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 very burnt out, and I took responsibility because like Caitlin said, nobody's going to save me and I don't want to be mad. I love Scentsy. Like, I don't want to be mad. And I for damn sure I'm not going to let some female take away what I've worked so hard for. So don't let a bad situation, a bad party, a bad like person that joined that didn't do anything right, don't let that take away what you have earned, because that's what unhappy people want out of you. And so I took accountability and I changed direction. So now my new team page is flowing, my leadership page is flowing, and also something that has always brought me joy is videos. I've always wanted to do a vlog or a blog, and I knew I didn't have time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a customer channel because this baller consultant, whose name is Lisa, has a YouTube channel. And I found out how much Homegirl makes a month. And I said, what? I said, you have how many clubbers? 400 and what? Yeah, like 450 clubbers. And my jaw dropped. And I said, I want to learn though, just what you're doing. I said, because I'm going on in my Instagram stories and they're deleting after 24 hours. So I started a YouTube channel, literally for my customers. I don't edit it. I literally just take the front and back part out. So you don't see when I press record. They're very much raw. And I have gotten recruits out of it in this past month. Again, I'm not telling you have to do this, but these things bring me joy. I love showing my customers and like giving real expressions of like scents and products. And so that brought me a lot of joy. And now also I'm going to recruit that way. All of my descriptions on my videos has join information. It has club, everything. And I have these products anyways. And like Caitlin said, we're sitting at home. We're lonely. Shit, I want to talk to somebody. Like I want to. So even if I have to talk to myself, I get to at least have it somewhere. So now I can email it to my customers weekly. I can text them and follow up with new unboxings and with new this and new that. And they love it. I use it for my host. They have the link so they can send it to the people in their party. So they can go and they can look at what's new for that month. And so that really helped me a lot, and connection points in the right way now. So now with my team, I'm doing monthly connection points where I'm going to do like just taking it back OG style. Like I'm going to do sample mornings once a month where we meet at a coffee shop. Everybody's going to bring certain samples, like 20 of each one. We're going to exchange them. We're going to have coffee. If somebody has a bag party to bring it and share it. If you have something cool to talk about, let's talk about it. But those are the connection points that I'm going to restart with my team that I did a long time ago that actually worked really well. And I'm going to bring it back into 2023. And with follow-ups, I'm much like Katie. I have a big VIP follow-up that I do in a lot of clubbers. So I really focus on that. And I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with my leaders, to be completely honest, like how I'm going to go back into coaching. I'm pretty nervous about it because it just can get really out of control. So I'm still figuring that out, and that's okay. As a leader, you don't have to be everything for everybody. But that's part of the reason why I did a website, because I have a leadership section now. Now I can just share that. Now I can give them these resources. And when I'm ready, if I want to do a call with them, I'll reach out. But the main thing is creating the community, inviting them to whoever your upline is, their community, whatever the page is, getting on the phone with them, doing these basic things, you guys, with your new recruits. Like, this is not rocket science. You got to take it back to that. You got to take it back to a launch party and all that stuff. And just embracing change. Katie talked a lot about this, but change is normal, guys. Okay. Change is normal. It's unfortunate. It sucks. It sucks when people pass away. It sucks when people like enter and leave your life. It sucks when you get sick. It's hard when you have a 3-year-old. It's hard when you have a husband who has been, injured and is on disability, but now he has a rocking job, right? Change.
The rockin' job is probably what is keeping them afloat, because it's likely not Scentsy, especially with the median income being less than $1,000 a year.
But how you change matters. Your attitude when you change matters. I always tell my son, I don't want you to do it if you're not going to have a good attitude. So if you're not going to have a good attitude and you're not going to give it 100% effort, get off the field, because he plays baseball. I'm like, leave it all on the field, 110%, but I want you to give 110% and have a good attitude. I want you to be the first one out and the first one in. So how you change matters. Your attitude and how you do hard things matters. Your team literally is looking at you. This seems very like, whatever, like, how are you leading your team? Are you just depending on your upline to lead your team, your upline's team page to lead your team? Or are you doing sample days? Are you doing Zooms? Are you involving them and sharing with them how to sponsor, how to do this, how to do that? It's up to you. Nothing is going to change in your leadership if you stay comfortable. So if you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, I can guarantee you that you could have a great business, but leadership is probably not going to work for you. Because you have to understand that your comfort zone is not going to get you to do the hard things, like learning how to lead, learning how to embrace failure, learning how to help people get where you are and they get almost there and then they leave, they stop working. You're not going to be able to go through those uncomfortable moments if you don't embrace them. And that's the difference in evolving and evolving while you embrace it. Because if you embrace it, you have that joy, you make sure that yourself is pivotal and most important. You are the most important. Your no is the most important. Your family is the most important. Your health is the most important. Do not let anybody take that from you. Have business hours. Have healthy boundaries, believe in the core value of who you are. And I promise you that'll attract more people than anything to want to do what you do, literally. And comfort is laziness. So if you're comfortable, you're probably being kind of lazy.
What the actual
Comfort is not laziness, first of all. Don't ever be ashamed to be comfortable. If you want to be comfortable in your life, be comfortable in your life. I don't understand why anybody would even say that. If you are meeting the needs of yourself and your finances and your kids or your whatever you have to meet the needs of, then be comfortable. Why do we have to be on edge all the time? There's no reason to not be comfortable. You can be comfortable in life. We only live once. Do we want to spend it being anxious and worried and stressed? I know I don't want to spend my life like that. No, I want to be comfortable and happy and have fun.
How many people have I sponsored this month? How many people are paid at title under me if I'm a leader? Am I paid at title? What are my sales? How many clubbers do I have? Katie wants 50. Set a goal. I set a goal for 50 clubbers a year and a half ago. And guess what? I did it because I set that goal. Nobody else. You don't need a challenge. You don't need a one-on-one call. You need to just look at what you want your life to look like because you're in control of it. And last but not least, just get up and change it. That's it. Tomorrow's the new day. I feel like all three of us have probably talked about this and trained on this before. Like every day is a new day and a new opportunity to get up. Like Caitlin said, on the day of her aunt's, death. Was it her birthday or her death? Her birthday. And she's no longer here and they were really close. She could have laid in bed all day, which would have been comfortable. And she could have cried and it could have been dark. And I have been there. She could have been in the bath. She loves the bath, but she didn't. She got up and ran. And I looked at, was that the day you did the video? And I was like, yeah, let's go. So, and her aunt is looking down at her like, yes. So your future self, you guys, is cheering you on. So go out there and get it. And I hope you guys take all the tools that all these ladies said tonight. Do y'all have anything to add?
Okay. So when you were talking about like the retreat and stuff and sitting back and learning, and then how you were talking about your how you've created some distance, and because we as leaders had gotten to a point where we were just letting life suck us dry, was when Ree was talking about Jesus and the 12. And I like that it was one thing that she said. So we were talking about how, creating healthy boundaries with our team members. And I'm not going to say it as beautifully as she said it, but Ree just said something like, I have it in my notes.
So I talked to her about this in the room before we went downstairs. Yeah, how he only had 12 disciples and they still all betrayed him. But he only had the 12.
Jesus loved everybody, but he only kept the 12 closest to him.
Yeah. It would not be a complete MLM leadership call without faith manipulation, would it?
Yeah.
About how, as humans, we can't have like all these like relationships and like foster all these things. We can't have relationships with hundreds and thousands of people. But she said, Jesus loved everybody, but he only kept the 12 closest to him. Yep. Like Jesus even protected his own heart, and Jesus took naps too. That was another thing. That's what Jennifer said. Jesus took naps. And yep. I'm like, yes, that is so freaking good. I don't know if you're religious or not, but that was something from that retreat that just really, really stuck with me.
Yeah. And he walked away. He would go and heal somebody and then he'd walk away and pray.
Mm-hmm.
He would go and do a miracle and he'd walk away. He didn't just stay in the same place either. And that's a whole different thing, but it's like change. Like he would go city to city. He could have stayed in Jerusalem, but he didn't. So that's a whole other thing.
And then that other quote that we shared at that retreat too, I just have my notes pulled up right now. It says, people change when they hurt enough that they have to. People change when they see enough that they're inspired to. People change when they learn enough that they want to. And people change when they receive enough that they're able to.
So good.
So which one are you? Which one are you guys after this training tonight? What changes are you going to make? What things are you going to implement? Who are we going to be tomorrow when we wake up?
Somebody that attended a training with word salad and faith manipulation.
It's so good, man. It's so good. And I'm so glad you guys are on tonight. Thank you guys. I literally couldn't have done this without y'all. I'm going to stop the recording.
That was it. Oy vey. And now, as always, at least as of recently, time for our palate cleanser, TikTok hates your MLM.
Okay, so you could easily make like 6 figures next month if you just follow what I do. You become your own boss, set your own hours, and work from your phone. Wait, what? That sounds amazing. Tell me more. Well, first, you don't need to know about anything, like how to run a business, customer service, product development, marketing, none of it. Okay, all you have to do is just buy a bunch of products and invest in your future. Okay, so how do I make money? Oh, you make money when other people sign up under you and invest in their future. Well, how do you make money? Make money from recruiting you and then who you recruit. A pyramid scheme. Boss babe.
That is just a wonderful display by the creator highlighted, who will be linked in the description below, of how these individuals in a pyramid scheme, in my opinion, or an MLM, actually explain how it works and try to make it sound like it's not a pyramid scheme. You're just a boss babe. You're just going to make 6 figures, and you have to do what I did, which is recruit, recruit, recruit. Right? It never ends, ever. As always, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
I got caught comparing me to people I don't even know. They say it's lonely at the top, well maybe then I'll focus on things that's more important and let whoever think whatever and just keep it moving. These niggas won't work on themselves, they'd rather see you losing. You'll never see me losing.